During the early 1800s, Americans were looking westward for more opportunities. The greatest driver of westward movement was the concept of manifest destiny, which said that the American race was superior to Native Americans, Mexicans, and others. Just kidding. Kind of. In a nutshell, it was the belief that America was destined to expand over a huge area. Of the many instances of Americans forcing their way westward, Texas was one of the most interesting. It all started when an impresario by the name of Stephen F. Austin brought a group of 300 settlers to the Brazos Valley. These Americans were a minority to the Mexicans, but not for long. By the late 1820s, Texans of Mexican descent had become a minority. Fearing the growing interest of the United States in Texas, Mexican authorities banned further immigration, and more importantly, they made slavery illegal. As the Texians became progressively more triggered, Mexican Federalists led by Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna were overturning the government. Similar to most politicians, Santa Anna didn't follow up on his promise to give the Mexican states more autonomy and subsequently seized all power and became a dictator. This obviously angered the Texans. Stephen F. Austin tried to petition for the creation of a Texas state and the repealing of the immigration law, but was thrown in jail. Again, the Texans obviously weren't happy. The unhappy Texans held a meeting at Washington on the Brazos where they declared independence from Mexico. Santa Anna, determined to put down the rebellion, took a large army into Texas. Mexican forces annihilated the garrisons at the Alamo and Goliad, almost causing the rebellion to collapse. But General Sam Houston managed to keep a small army together. In a decisive victory at San Jacinto, Santa Anna was taken captive and forced to sign a treaty. Finally, the new nation was free. It now sought to join the United States. However, there were a few problems with this. The admission of Texas would inflame both sectional tensions and harm relations with Mexico. Even though these problems were clear to the American government, they still admitted Texas as a state in 1845. Although the Texans claimed that the border was the Rio Grande, Mexico said that the border had always been the Nueces River. To resolve the border conflict with Mexico, President Polk sent diplomat John Slidell to negotiate. Hey, can we buy this? No. No. So Polk ordered General Zachary Taylor's army to cross the Nueces River and just kind of hang out there. The Mexicans, seeing this as an invasion, crossed the Rio Grande and attacked a unit of America. Now, with a legitimate reason, Congress declared war on Mexico and Taylor began to seize parts of northeastern Mexico, moving south towards Monterrey and Mexico City. Of course, a war never comes without critics. Opponents claimed that the war with Mexico drained resources from the Pacific Northwest and felt that the president should not be able to wage whenever he wanted to. While Taylor worked his way towards the Mexican capital, Colonel Kearny captured Santa Fe and, with the help of American settlers and a party led by John C. Fremont, staged the Bear Flag Revolution in California. Soon, by the autumn of 1846, Kearny had completely conquered California. Under General Winfield Scott, an American army seized Mexico City and a new Mexican government announced its willingness to sign a treaty. On February 2, 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed, in which Mexico gave up California, New Mexico, and Texan land past the Rio Grande. But alas, this wasn't enough for many Americans. More land. Even though expansionists, including President Polk, sought to take more land away from Mexico, this could not be done without angering those who didn't want to spread slavery to more areas. It seems as if expansion would be for the benefit of all Americans, but reality demonstrates otherwise. Sectionalism and the issue of slavery seem to worm their way into any topic in 1840s America. I'm no expert, but it seems to me that these issues could lead to some major conflicts if they aren't dealt with soon.